Hey guys, it's Ben here with my ninth reflection for the course. Getting pretty close to the end here. This week's topic is going to be about ending a sponsored relationship. So this is disengaging, reasons why a firm may disengage from a sponsorship partnership. Oh, that's a mouthful. And also some examples that I brought forward as well. So let's get into it. So why do marketing relationships end? So the first reason is poor relationship marketing. So relationship marketing is important because these are all the marketing activities that are directed towards the establishment, development, and maintenance of successful sponsorship agreements. So if you don't market your relationship properly, it'll have detrimental effects down the road because they'll feel like they haven't been done their due justice in the relationship. The duration of the relationship is also a big factor in determining if the relationship is renewed or not. A longer relationship definitely has more of an ability to influence success. Um, Partners of longer durations, they can provide more opportunities to better understand one another, better fill each other's capability gaps. They may enhance a longer term sponsorship agreement just because of the time that they've gotten to know each other. This could result in a competitive advantage over other potential sponsors. And the longer the duration of the agreement is, the more potential for a stronger association between the brand and the property in a consumer's memory. Um, Another reason that I brought forward from lecture is advertising saturation. So if the property isn't getting any more qualitative, um, what's a good word for it? Um, Benefits out of the agreement anymore, if the agreements become saturated and the property doesn't give any more awareness or the image transfer or whatever the reason for engaging in the sponsorship agreement was, if those qualitative variables start to um, start to hit a or even decline, that could be a reason for disengaging from the agreement. So this first artifact here is an example of disengaging from a property to avoid the saturation effects of advertising. So in this case, this is a partnership between Manny Pacquiao and Nike. So Manny Pacquiao is one of Nike's highly endorsed athletes. He had his own clothing line, his own shoe line, his own personal logo um, on their website, in their stores, all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately for Nike, Manny Pacquiao's career had kind of hit a standstill. He was kind of on the decline. He wasn't winning any major fights. His marketability had gone down. So they were looking for an excuse to disengage from the partnership. So Manny Pacquiao was on tour, press tour down in his home area, and unfortunately, he let a comment slide that could be taken as homophobic. So immediately, Nike used the morality clause in their agreement to disengage from the property because they weren't getting any benefits. It was too saturated of a property for them to gain any more um, awareness or sales amounts or any of that kind of stuff out of the agreement. So it was completely terminated. Hey, so just getting into the next artifact here, I had to come back and add another video to edit because of the whole format of what YouTube allows. So in this portion, I examined a word-long drive tournament or a match or whatever you want to call it. And we looked at the sponsorship clutter that was on the playing field and how that could dissuade a sponsor from, uh, engaging with the property or maintaining their relationship. So I'm going to ask you to go into the external YouTube references on my other playlist and look at the World Long Drive video. You only have to watch the first swing or two, but just really focus on where the ball lands and the sponsors that are along that area. So I think that video there effectively conveyed what I was trying to get across in terms of the sponsorship clutter there. So as more and more sponsors are added to an event or to a property, it becomes more likely that one of those sponsors or one of those brands isn't going to get noticed by the average spectator. So nowadays, lots of companies are making conscious decisions to sponsor events where they'll specifically stand out. Um, so this could definitely be a reason for disengaging from a partnership in sponsorship, because if I was one of these World's Longest Drive sponsors, and the only time that my logo was really getting any broadcasting time was when a ball flew by it at however many miles per hour, I would definitely have to be reconsidering if this is something that I want to be investing in and if I'm actually getting any substantial benefits out of this agreement. So, as we talked about in class, sponsorship clutter is definitely a significant predictor of sponsorship disengagement. And it's detrimental because you're not really servicing the relationship. You're just kind of putting them out there with 50 other sponsors just to collect your paycheck. If you're not maintaining and servicing that relationship like we were talking about before in terms of relationship marketing, this could definitely be a cause to disengage from a property. So just a lasting note here. Just want to talk about my boy Don Cherry. He recently just got fired from broadcasting because of some controversial comments once again that he made, and unfortunately he was let go from Coach's Corner. And this kind of led me to think, what's going to happen with Coach's Corner's sponsors? So their main sponsor, as you could see here, is Budweiser, and this recent firing has me thinking if it's going to cause Budweiser to disengage from Coach's Corner, because without Don Cherry, I could definitely see the ratings of Coach's Corner going down because not everyone's there for Ron, you know? Um, so if the ratings go down and the property isn't what it used to be, why would Budweiser still want to be engaged with them if they're going to have lowered benefits than they did before? So those are all the artifacts and the talking points that I had for this reflection. Um, Honestly, I never really thought about the disengagement of sponsorships before. I was more focused on developing them and implementing them, and not why uh, they could go sideways and why parties would want to disengage from other properties. So it's definitely eye-opening, especially in terms of like that Don Cherry firing. It definitely has me thinking in a different way, um, which is super cool. Like this class has definitely been altering the way I think about sports and altering the way that I consume sports as a spectator. So that's really neat. But anyway, that's all I have for you this week. I'll see you next week.